decide to let you go.
What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is literally months in the making because I have been waiting for this thing literally since July. Was it July? It had to have been July. This is the PUR Raw Beauty Kristi collab palette and I am so goddamn excited to do some looks with it today. It was first released, there was like a whole issue where you couldn't get on the website and I tried my ass off to get my hands on this and it just did not work out, but I did pre-order it for the restock. It's here now and I'm actually really excited to have it right now because I feel like this is really giving me fall vibes in a colorful way that I was not expecting. So I think the timing of this actually worked out quite well. I love Kristi. It's very one-sided. She doesn't know that I exist, but goddamn, I love her. Her videos make me happy every single time I watch them, and quite frankly, she gives me hope for the makeup community. If someone like her who makes very simple, straightforward videos about her life and her makeup and is just like calm and chill, it can do so well. God, that gives me so much hope for YouTube in general. Her and Bailey Sarian, they really just, they're what keeps me going. So my plan today is to do two looks, and because this palette, okay, first of all, the setup of this palette is really neat. I'm sure you guys are more than familiar because it's been all over the internet before I even got my hands on it, but there's one side of this palette that's super colorful, and then the other side, which is like attached, which I've never seen one done like this before, is more neutrals. I'm not necessarily going to only use colors from each side to do two separate looks, but my plan is to do one that is more colorful. Here, we already did this one, and then one more neutral look and play with both of the like conceptual sides of the palette, if you will, but I'm thinking I might need to dip into some of the neutrals for both looks because I am somebody who needs neutrals to blend things together. It just really helps me. As always, I will timestamp both of the looks down below. If you want to come back and recreate them, you could jump right to the one you want to recreate. I will also go right ahead and list all of the other products that I use on my face in the description if you want those. If you are new around here, feel free to subscribe because I would love to have you around and hang out and talk about makeup. Also, if you wouldn't mind, I would love it if you would take a second to leave a like on this video because it's really helpful and it helps other people see my videos, and it helps me know that you guys are enjoying my videos and I'm not just sitting here like an asshole doing this for no reason. You guys enjoying it is really what makes it a good time, quite frankly. Is there anything else? What the hell is that? I got nothing. I got nothing today. Quite frankly, I have cramps and my brain is like working just enough to do makeup, but I don't have much capacity beyond that. So maybe by the time I film the second look, we'll be in better shape, but makeup is really all I have to offer today. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up now. We can just get into look number one, the more colorful look with the PUR Raw Beauty Kristi palette. For the first look with this palette, I'm going to grab my beige number 6. I'm going to go into this yellow shade Dandelion and I'm going to start working that through my crease and up toward my brow as sort of a transition shade, but also just to start the color palette of this because I really like the way some of these colors on this side, not so much those, but these play off of each other. I think they're very unique and also they give me fall vibes in a still very colorful way. So I'm just going to put that right through like the high portion of my crease. I'm going to pack it down and then we'll blend it up. So far that has really good pigmentation. I actually have never used PUR Cosmetics eyeshadows before this. I've used some of their other products, but never eyeshadows, and I don't think any color cosmetics before. So this is a very new experience. I'm really not sure what to expect formula-wise. I'm going to take a clean blending brush and blend the edge of that out just to make it nice and soft. On a Sigma E36, I'm going to go into the shade Am I Orange, and I'm going to start blending that through the crease too, just keeping it a little bit lower. I want to make sure that you still see the yellow past the orange here. The orange is just for like a little bit of a gradient of depth. Because what struck me as far as like the colorful colors, that's so dumb. As far as like the bright colors in this palette, was the contrast of that yellow next to that blue. For some reason, that was like the first thing that spoke to me. I'm going to flip over to the neutral side of this palette. I'm going to grab that same brush. I'm going to go into this warm brown shade Told You and a little bit of You're Not My Real Dad. I'm just going to mix those together on the brush and use those to continue deepening that crease. Just really, really concentrating it right through the crease hole. I just don't want it to be like a stark difference between the orange and the blue that I'm going to put down because I have a funny feeling it's not going to be easy to blend blue into orange, being that they are opposites of one another. I'm also going to take a little bit of that brown You're Not My Real Dad and put it on the outer corner and the inner corner. And I'm just taking whatever is left on that brush and swishing it through my crease. Now I'm going to go into the shade Hurtful on a pencil brush, and I'm going to pack that shade on the outer portion and the inner portion of the lid. So I'm just going to overlap that a little bit with that dark brown that I put down. That is very, very pigmented. My goodness. If you watch me do looks like this in the past, you might notice that I have made my crease a lot lower. It's like literally the first time probably in the history of ever that I am just putting it through my natural crease, and I'm gonna cut my cut crease according to my natural crease, really just because I haven't done that and I just want to see what happens. What a unique blue, and like I love the way it's applying. We'll see what happens when it blends because blues scare the shit out of me, but so far that is very pretty. I like that a lot. I'm gonna grab my Sigma E36 with the same color and just drag that right through the crease a little bit too. Just using circular motions to blend that in with the brown so it transitions into that orange nicely. I'm gonna grab my Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer in the color Pure White on a NABLA cut crease maker brush, and I am going to make a little spotlight cut crease right in the center of the lid. So I'm gonna pop some of that on the back of my hand first and foremost, and then just cut that bitch right in the center. It's better this time to do it with my eye like slightly closed, even though I usually do it with it open, because that way I'm not getting it above my actual natural crease, which I already did. I got a little bit up there and screwed it up, but that's okay. I'm gonna clean it up. It'll be fine. I'm just going to take my finger and tap it over the edge to help blend the concealer so we don't have such a harsh line to go over when we put shadows down. I'm going to grab my MAC 242S brush. I'm going to go back into the shade Dandelion, and I'm going to press Dandelion over that white concealer in the center of the lid. So it's going to start right in the middle and just pack that right up to the top of that cut. And I feel like the obvious move here to transition that yellow into the blue again is to go into the green shade Garden State. I'm going to pick a little bit of that up on the same brush and just pack it next to the yellow. And I'm going to use this tiny little brush to go back into the yellow again and start blending that over the green. Then I'm going to grab my Sigma E36 again and go back into Hurtful and use that to blend that blue right into the green where it kind of mixes up into the yellow. And now we got ourselves a whole ass gradient. I was going to grab a makeup wipe and wipe away some of the fallout from the shade Hurtful. That one definitely had quite a bit of fallout, and it is a darker shade, so I want to make sure I get rid of that before I put my concealer down. Kristi, I think in her video, did say that these shades do have fallout, so I wasn't entirely surprised to see such a thing. I want the lower lash line to be mostly blue because I feel like a lot of the blue we used in the top lid that's like kind of playing against that yellow did get a little bit lost because we blended it so much. And I'm going to go through the waterline with the Mainline pencil from Urban Decay. This is a matte blue that kind of reminds me a lot of the shade Hurtful, and because I want to lean into that color a little bit more on the lower lash line, I think it'll be a good complement. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I like the way that the blue and the yellow look next to each other, but we lost a lot of the blue by blending it into other colors. So I'm going to use mostly that blue on the lower lash line to make sure that we still get that color combination. Okay, I put some concealer and powder down. I put lots of powder down because I am going to go into that blue shade again, and the blue shade was the one that was giving me a lot of fallout. I'm going to pick that up on that same pencil brush, so I'm going into Hurtful, and I'm going to push that into the lower lashes. Just hook it around the end so it meets the top and just bring it all the way across the lower lash line. It's a really dead-on match to that Urban Decay pencil. Wow, that's pretty impressive. I don't know who I'm impressed with, but I'm impressed. I'm going to take that same Sigma E36 and just start blending the edge of that out and blend it right into the crease. I'm actually going to take a larger blending brush and just go over the edge of that to get more of a blend going. And finally, on my LUXE 111 mini brush, I'm going to go into this only shimmer shade on this side of the palette. It's called Cafe Disco. I, first of all, love the name of this because I love The Office, and that is a great episode of The Office. And I'm going to pack that shade, it's the only shimmer we've used so far today, on the inner corner of the eye just to brighten up that inner corner. You know what I like about this as a concept? I like that there are all mattes and like one shimmer that you can pop over any of them to kind of make them into a shimmer. That's fun. I like that. And just using the same Sigma E36 to blend it into the shades around it. Okay, I put on House of Lashes Stella Luxe and I finished up my skin, and I'm gonna add a lip to this look. I wanna go with a warm nudish satin lip. So I'm gonna grab the KVD Vegan Beauty pencil in the color Lolita, and then I am going to fill the center with the NABLA Creamy Dreamy lipstick in the color Hedonist. Also, I just want to go on the record and say that I love this eye look so far, and I love this palette so far. The fallout is a bit much, but you can plan for that. And other than that, I'm pretty impressed, and I really like the way this came together. And I feel like it's giving me like a 70s vibe. I like it. I feel like 70s colorful fall vibes right now. And this is the first look. So for the second look, we're going to be using the more neutral side of the palette. While it is very neutral, I like that there's a little bit of yellow, a little bit of peachy shade in there. Probably going to go into more of the yellows and like ochre kind of colors in here because I am having a fall mood right now. It's officially fall, which doesn't really matter to me because I start acting like it's fall the second the weather changes, and the weather changes here pretty early in the season. So I'm gonna start by going into Camelot, this nice yellow mustardy shade up here. And it's interesting that I just am noticing now that this shade is not too far off from Dandelion, because Dandelion, while it's definitely more yellow, is still kind of a mustardy yellow. Taking that on a BH number 6 and just starting through my crease area. Also realizing that I started with Dandelion in the other look, so we're having a yellow crease twice, but you know what, that's fine. I'm keeping it a little bit lower this time than the last look, and I'm gonna flick the end out. Start creating more of an elongated shape rather than a round shape, because like the other look was so rounded. Just blend the edge of that with a clean brush, the huge. Hey, get out of here, little hairs. You're so annoying. I'm gonna grab a MAC 221 brush and go into this warm brown shade, Told You. I'm gonna put that through my crease too, a little bit more concentrated. You guys know the drill by now. That's how we make our nice little gradients. Well, that's how I do it. You know, I've noticed that other people do this like a completely different way than I often do, but this is the way that works for me. And a lot of you guys say that it works for you too, so I'm rolling with it. I'm gonna grab a little bit more Camelot and make sure I keep adding that back in because I don't want to lose it through the crease. And on a Sigma E36, I'm gonna go into You're Not My Real Dad and continue deepening that up just a little bit. I'm really only putting a tiny bit on that brush. It won't focus. It won't focus, which is super annoying. Hey, focus. You guys get the point. There's only a little tiny bit of the product on there because I don't want it to be too dark. And these are quite pigmented. Just like the tiniest little dip gave me that much depth, which I like, but it's very easy to overdo it for sure. I want to create like a little bit of like a slinky, lifted sort of a shape with this look. So I am going to cut the inner corner, but then kind of like let it become softer again and create like a little wing situation on the outer corner. So I'm going to start by grabbing the Stay Naked concealer in the shade Pure White again. I'm going to pack that on my NABLA cut crease brush, and I'm going to just cut the inner corner, keeping it on the lower side again because I want it to be more of like a closed eye look instead of like a big wide open like cartoon anime eye. I'm going to start on the inner corner, bring it right up just the tiniest bit higher than my natural crease this time. And at the end, as usual, is going to tap over it with my finger to help blend. I'm going to grab this flat lid brush from the Wet n Wild Bretman Rock collection, and I'm going to go into the shimmer shade on this side, Golden Ticket, and I'm going to use that on the innermost portion of that cut, just the very little corner of it here. I can see that being a very good day-to-day shade. On the same brush, I'm going to go into a little bit of Camelot. I like these yellows right now. I'm in the mood for the yellows. I'm going to place that on like the center area of the lid right next to that champagne shade, and then I'm going to blend the two of those together. I'm going to grab that MAC 221 again, and I'm going to go into the shade Told You, and I'm going to use Told You to fill the whole outer portion of the lid and like transition us right into that soft little wing that we've got going on there. And now that that whole shadow shape is down, I'm gonna add a black winged liner, and I'm going to taper it really hard toward the inner corner and do a tiny bit of an extension. As you guys have probably picked up on, because I've said it and done it 57 times in the last couple of months, I've really been liking that like elongated look with a little bit of an extended inner corner, and I feel like the more I practice it, the more I'm gonna get better at it. So we're gonna try again today. I swear half of the battle of doing the extended inner corner is like, am I drawing on my inner corner, or is that like an eye booger that I haven't been able to get out of there yet? Okay, I actually think that I've gotten better at this inner corner situation. Just goes to show my practice makes perfect philosophy of makeup is true. For the lower lash line, I want to do the waterline dark, but I don't think I want to do it black. I'm going to run that right through the waterline. And I want to continue that warm yellowy tone on the bottom too. So I'm going to go back into Camelot on the MAC 221 brush. I'm just going to start swishing that underneath my lower lashes. I'm going to bring that right into the inner corner too. I'm going to grab a little lash line smudger brush, and I'm going to go back into the shade Told You again. This time I'm going to put that on my lower lash line, but I'm going to only do it on the outer half. So about to the center of my pupil. And then for the outer 1/3 of the bottom lash line, I'm going to go back into You're Not My Real Dad on that same little smudger brush. And so I'm going to only keep it on the outermost portion. Just swish that right up into like the corner of the wing to make that shape make the most sense as possible on the little outer corner there. Softly blend it all together, but not make it like super obvious that it's connected. I finished up my skin and I put on House of Lashes Siren Flare, and now we need to add a lip. And originally I was thinking I was going to do a nude with this, but since we're having a fall moment, I'm having fall vibes right now, I probably have foundation all over my nails. Ugh, I hate that. I'm gonna go with a deep matte burgundy plummy rich combo. So I'm gonna line my lips with the NABLA Cupid's Arrow Stylo in number 3. This is like a purpley burgundy. It's very, very dark. And then I'm going to fill that in with the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in the color Savage, which is more of like a deep, deep red, but I think combining them two together, we should get like a nice color that's right in the middle of those two things. Should be delicious. Yum, 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 yum. And this is the second, more neutral look. So I think after doing some looks with this, I have to say, I think this palette was worth the wait, and it's one of the better collabs that I've seen come out in a while. I think it's really representative of how Kristi does makeup, because she does kind of fluctuate between more neutral, very simple, soft glam looks and like really, really intense color. So I like that she represented both of those ideas here. I like that it's set up in a unique way, especially because like you really save space this way. This palette could be enormous and take up a lot of space in your drawer or your bag, but instead it's really compact and you still get a ton of different shades. I actually really love that everything is matte except for one simple shimmer on each side. The fact that there are that many mattes and they all perform really well really works for me. Surprisingly, like obviously I didn't use the purple and pink shades here, so I think that sort of changes the whole vibe, but using those shades, even though they're really bright and colorful, I feel like I got a really fall-esque kind of look out of it, which I really enjoy. But because there are other shades in here, you could also make it appropriate for pretty much any season. I can definitely see myself using this as a throw it in my bag if I'm going away for a weekend kind of a palette, which is hilarious because I don't know about you guys, maybe you're different from me, but every single time I say that and then do that, I literally don't wear any makeup the entire weekend, like every single time. But I'm still gonna put this in my overnight bag and lie to myself, and it's gonna not take up as much room as something with just as many shades, so it works out great. There definitely was a little bit of fallout with some of the mattes, but nothing overly like, oh my god, I have a fallout mustache or anything like that. But enough that I would definitely recommend doing your concealer after you do your eyes at the very least. And also, you know, give your brush a little flick. Tap that shit off, you know, it helps minimize the issue. That just goes for any eyeshadow palette, quite frankly. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know, did you pick this palette up? Were you able to grab it? Did you skip it? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts after watching this video or other people's videos or after using it yourself? Whatever it is that you think, I would love to hear it in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here, because I think you'd have a great time sticking around. And if for some reason you feel nosy and you want to keep up with my everyday life between videos, go find me on Instagram. I'm at Ms. Quinface over there. And not only do I post things on my feed that never see the light of day here on YouTube, but I also keep my stories updated quite often. And we do talk about things that go on here on this channel, but also you get to just see a little bit of the day-to-day behind the scenes of my life and other things like outfits, and we just chat and do polls and stuff, and it's a good time, and I would love to have you. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to hang out and talk about makeup with me today, and I will see you in the next one.